Trouble seems to be brewing again in Indian cricket. It's been a rocky 2025 already, and we can add this next episode onto the pile of all the things that have shaken Indian cricket. And this involves the skipper Rohit Sharma. The Indian captain is miffed with all that's happened over the last few months. Many things have provoked him. India's losses in the longest format should top that list. The internet being unkind, his very own lack of form, and yes, the critics who seem to be getting on his nerves the most. Of late, it's Sunil Gavaskar, his own statemate, and one who's actually always backed the Indian skipper. So what's the latest then that has stirred the pot? Rohit is reportedly annoyed with all that has been said by the former India captain and commentator, and it's quite difficult where to put the finger here. What exactly has aggravated the situation? But I thought it would be best to dive right into this and show you all the criticism that Sunil Gavaskar seems to have showered on the skipper, particularly over the last few months. Let's take a look at all of them. Of course, it all began when he missed that first test. He called out the captain for it, saying this was not the kind of message that he had to send to his team. There's more, of course. He continues to lambast and lash out at Rohit. This was, of course, when he wasn't scoring the runs. If he doesn't score runs in Melbourne, he won't wait for the selectors to make that call. That's what he says, that he will drop himself, because he was quite unhappy with the way Rohit was performing. This was on his poor form. Age is catching up, he says. The mind is there. Everything the mind tells you, but the body just doesn't do it. Gavaskar, of course, going at it, continuing to criticize Rohit. This was on the Ranji Trophy failure. Rushes of blood cost some silly-looking dismissals, a couple of them, of course, in Gavaskar's opinion. And then this, which also included many other cricketers, whether their hearts were in it or they did that only to ensure they were not stripped of their BCCI contracts, is known only to them. Getting back to domestic cricket and, of course, pointing out to the lack of commitment. Gavaskar has, of course, been very harsh. Now, we know how Sunil Gavaskar is. Sunny G, as he's fondly called by everyone who works with him, doesn't mince his words. He calls it like he sees it, and rarely does he sit on the fence. He's never shied away from calling a spade like he did during the Australia series against India. He did not bite back or clamp down on his critique. He called Rohit out for the lack of runs and even said Rohit Sharma will be the first to say goodbye before he's asked to leave. Now, I see that as a compliment, quite frankly. He was only giving Rohit Sharma credit to have the foresight to say enough was enough when it came to his own cricket. That's something everyone really struggles with. But Gavaskar was equally harsh and caustic when he called every superstar to go back to domestic cricket. And we saw how that played out. Rohit Sharma, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Shreyas Iyer underperformed against Jammu and Kashmir, losing to them in what was a shocking collapse. It was, in fact, a rare misfortune for Shreyas Iyer, who's actually had a good run with the state side. But now the three of them will not be present in Mumbai's next Ranji game. It's a must-win. They will head to train for the ODI series against England instead. Rohit Sharma is livid with the kind of criticism that Gavaskar, among other commentators, have laid down on his performance. How have many of you viewed this particular episode, Rohit versus Gavaskar? A divided house, but a fair number supporting both the stars. Now, here's the thing. Being a captain of a cricket side is not easy, and being one leading the Indian team is certainly much harder. Rohit Sharma has seen so many ups and downs. He's seen the best and worst, so maybe he should ride the storm out instead of involving the board here, because he cannot stop tongues from wagging. No one really can. Yes, it's been a roller coaster ride that saw him reach the highs of World Cup glory to now his back to the wall. It isn't easy, this phase especially. But all he can do really is to focus on the job at hand, tackle the controllables, his form, his batting in particular, his team and the matches that are coming up. They're all going to be very, very critical. paying heed to anything outside of this will just misfire.
We're calling the show Vantage. We hope you like what we've put together for you. Touted as the minimum two-way defense from that video. India's neighbors were the first to send the special edition of Vantage live from the White House throughout the week. Yes, Hindu Mandir in we're on our way to Tel Aviv. City measure, but it's also the perfect way to drive.
I don't think that
Prime Minister of Bhutan, Sherin Tagwe. Welcome to
60% of the world's
office. Prime Minister Modi did the iron.
we were actually
How are you doing? How do you like? It's been 1 year since that meeting. Iron bars separate you from the outside. Out the vote efforts. Trump had, it says, and at $4.3 trillion. 4.3 300 billion by 2030. That's what we need to tackle climate change.